all you cool cats and kittens. Welcome to the Trying to Be Grown podcast. I'm your host, Damani Carter, and in the non-striped shirt is my esteemed co-host, Mr. Byron Keaton. Byron, how we doing today?
Hey man, I'm happy to be here. I'm doing pretty good. Can't complain.
Hey, if she
Happy
copyright,
Black History Month.
yeah, hold on, I'm gonna let you get to that. But if she copyrighted that, like if Carol Baskin copyrighted that, cause she sue us just as a legal guy.
Wait, what was she copyright?
Hey, all you cool cats and kittens, can I get sued for that?
No,
Okay,
no.
I'm just making sure. I didn't know. I had to ask you as the legal guy. We appreciate you rocking with us, wherever you rocking with us, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. And I forgot to, do all this last time. We're still gonna, give you the rundown, and everything will be time stamped in the description. You see something you like, see something you don't, go ahead and skip through it. Get to where you need to go. Today, after Byron gives us our Black History fact of the day, shout out to Black History Month, we will be talking about Kim and Kanye.
Mm.
And what else are we gonna talk about? I forgot.
How you forget, bro? How
I
you
wrote
forget?
it down, but I just don't want to look.
So we're gonna talk about dating to marry
Oh yeah, yeah. We're
and
gonna start with that.
how,
It's gonna be dating, married, and then Kim and Kanye. I'd be forgetting. I'll be forgetting sometimes.
and then always about betting on yourself and improving.
Right, right. Oh, and another thing I forgot. We gave you our Super Bowl picks last week, and I told y'all that I had made some bad picks. I forgot to say where I made those bad picks. Y'all need to go check out the Spencer and Mom Pod, and you can type that in on your Apple Podcasts is where I listen. They're on Spotify as well. You need to go check them out. They're one of the most entertaining duos in the podcast game. And I'll put a link to my episode in the description. But check out all their other stuff too. So Byron, our Black History fact of the day. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, so I know a lot of people know a lot of billionaires, whether it's Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Michael Jordan, Oprah Winfrey. But the first African American billionaire, I believe, I'm 95% sure. And if I'm not 100% sure on first black billionaire in like modern history since 2000 is what's his name?
That is the
Robert Johnson.
worst,
Give me a second.
worst
It's Robert
preface
Johnson.
ever. Go ahead.
He's one. He co-founded BET, eventually sold BET to Viacom, and first black billionaire in modern history. And by modern history, I'm doing it since like 1990. So like really, really modern. Not modern history meaning anything after the death of Jesus Christ, how some people classify it. But yeah.
You can see that we don't have a lot of structure and just organization on this show because that was a kind of everywhere Black History fact. But hey, Robert Johnson out here with that bread. We gotta give him his flowers while he can still smell them. So,
Oh, they getting his flowers. Definitely. He get his. He been getting his from people.
mhm.
Clearly.
so now, um, I'm gonna let you open this up because I haven't been paying much attention. I heard the lyrics that he put in that song that everybody was listening to about Pete Davidson, but that's like as much as I've been
You
paying
just gonna
attention
skip it
to it.
again, Damani.
Skip what? Ah, yeah, I did skip it again. I did skip it twice. That's me. That's me. That's on me. My bad. Sorry, team. Okay. Going to dating to marry or just dating. Byron, your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Since I can't seem to keep the schedule on track, what do you think about our situation as young people? Where should dating minds be, in your opinion?
That's a tough question.
And when I
Like
say,
honestly.
just want to say, when I say ours, I'm just talking about the collective younger people, not anybody. Just go ahead. Sorry.
So it's a confusing situation from the fact that if you date to marry, you put too much pressure on a relationship in which you're looking just for this perfect thing and it's not you can't live in the moment if you're constantly looking at the future at one specific goal. But if that goal is just nowhere in your vision, it seems like it can waste people's time. To where I know some people in this generation, they just kind of want to, they eventually want to get married, but they're not looking that at marriage as something that they want to do right now. And so it kind of, if people are on different timelines, it can put a strain on a relationship, even though they may be meant for each other.
Without a doubt.
So I don't know. So I really have no idea, but I think I'm in the boat of no. I'm gonna give a political answer. I'm in the I'm a moderate. I'm the best of both worlds. I'm not overly focused on dating to marry, but I'm not just marriage is just not in the vision of when you date someone. If that makes
Hmm.
sense. Like
Well,
you going in the moment, but the end goal is marriage. But I'm not dating to marry. Yeah,
I think I'm gonna be a bit, off to the side of where you are because I don't think there's necessarily. First of all, whatever works for you works for you. If you have a system of dating or being with another person and it works for you, it works for them. That's beautiful to me because I know everybody's situation is different, just based on who you are and who you're with. So find something that works for you. What I think personally, I think what you said, uh, in terms of I want this to culminate in marriage. I think not only does it kind of put pressure on a relationship, if that's I'd say the predominant lens that you use, I think sometimes it makes people see stuff that they wouldn't see if that wasn't the lens that they were using. If that makes sense.
in a good or bad way.
Um,
In a bad way,
I think both.
like you
Well,
see more
I
flaws.
think. Well, I'm gonna put it this way. I think you could see past some bad, that you should probably look at and analyze, and I think you could also overlook some good, in a person that wasn't sharing your vision, uh, or just didn't fit the vision of what you thought that this spouse was going to be for you. So I think this isn't a great comparison, but you've made worse comparisons on the show, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it like
I
this.
disagree.
So when you generally when we talk about people that have kids, you don't want to force them down any particular path. You kind of want to let them be what they're going to be. And though you might have an ideal, for what your kids are going to turn out to be, generally you bring them up and want them to determine for themselves where they're going to be, what they're going to do, what they're going to be interested in, whatever. But I think it's a slight jump to compare that to a relationship. But I think in terms of determining where that relationship is going to go, um, I think if you understand that you're with this person for whatever reason at that point, you can similarly kind of just let things play out, um and if you get to a point that you say, this is the person that I want to be with, this is the person that I want to marry, then that's cool. But if you don't, I think that's also okay. And I think if you're looking at all of these as, um either I get married or I fail, then that lens kind of clouds, uh it creates a very, very narrow route for success. And that could make you, like I said, it could make you disqualify some people that could eventually, um be that person, and it could make you look past some stuff just trying to fit somebody into that mold of success that you should probably acknowledge and say, you know whatever, this negative is, either I need to address it or I need to leave. I think that marriage strain just causes us to think in ways that might not be really conducive to the end goal that we're trying to accomplish. even if you do want to get married. So I think you kind of just got
Okay,
to let it be what it's going to be, and then you know deal with it from there.
so okay, I have a question regarding that.
Go ahead.
Do you feel the same way based on no matter what age someone is? For example, if someone's in their early 20s and they're dating, they have more time in their life, maybe not, to find a partner. Whereas someone that are like well established in their careers and things like that, once you kind of like get set and comfortable in your ways, it's kind of hard to bring someone in at that point.
Hmm.
Maybe I don't know. I'm not that old.
Hmm.
Not saying that so, but
I
like
think I can. I think
yeah.
I can pause you
Does
right there
it
and still answer your
change?
question. So I think just in general, no, it doesn't really matter how old you are, because if you start factoring in your age, um, so just say at 22, you find a person who dope, you love being with them, you enjoy all of your interactions, you think this could be the one, but you think I have time, and you put it off because you're 22. You could end up losing that person just because that mindset didn't allow you to, I guess, see what you know what things were, and just the illusion that you had more time caused you to lose said person for whatever reason. Let's just say that mindset transitioned into something that happened that ended in you two breaking up. And I think conversely, if
Yeah,
you're later in your life and you're using that to, I guess, influence your decisions regarding marriage and who you're going to be with, you could jump the gun on it, just thinking, I'm going to want to be with this person for the rest of my life, and I don't have much time to choose, so I got to go ahead and lock this up now. And you could miss something that more time and more thought could have showed you, in terms of you not wanting to be with said person. So I think the mindset
but
that I'm talking about kind
but
of
as you're older, don't you? But as you're older, don't you kind of know a little bit better of what you need and what you want,
is
in which you can date to marry because you're more comfortable. You know exactly what you are looking for in a partner. Whereas someone who's 20, they don't they don't understand life as much.
yeah, I think that's very possible, but I'm just talking about like how that mindset could influence you. I'm not factoring in everything else. I'm just saying, like, in general, I think that this approach, and that if you are later in life and you can actually make a better decision, then that really wouldn't impact the mindset that I'm talking about. Because I'm not telling you to take a super long amount of time just to make sure that you're checking every box, nor am I telling people, to hurry into it. I'm just saying that if you don't look at it as I'm dating for the purpose of marrying this person, I think it impacts your ability to see your partner a little in a positive way.
But what about the cons to it? Cons to it, where if you're not dating to marry, a lot of people's time can be wasted.
Right. But think about how much time you would waste if you, say, married a person for 10 years, six of which you were trying to make it work, um, and you just end up getting a divorce. And I'm using kind of the context that you're talking about in terms of being a waste of time, to describe this. Because
Yeah.
I think from a relationship standpoint, um, really it's tough to think of things as a waste of time. You can think of them as lessons. Generally, there's not a relationship that people enter into that they didn't have, some positives to go with it. Now, obviously, if we're talking about abuse, emotional, physical, whatever, then that's kind of a different situation. But I'd say it's okay to have just an okay relationship that ends for whatever reason, and to come out of it not saying, this was a waste of time. It's okay to do that. It's okay to say, at this point in my life, I was with this person, something changed, either our situation changed, he changed, she changed, I changed, whatever. Um, and to come out of it on the other end and say that was just an okay thing and now it's done. I think that's fine. I think it's okay to do that without qualifying it and describing it as a waste of time.
And do you see our generation, Gen Z slash 95 and after
Zennials.
millennials, as people who are dating to marry or just people who are going with the flow
I think we're either one or the other, but
overall?
nobody is in the middle. I think
What you mean nobody in the middle?
obviously I'm exaggerating, but the people that I just think of off the top of my head, either they are in the most spectacular relationship of their lives, um, or they are actively looking for the most spectacular relationship of their lives, or people are just not interested in doing anything but playing the field. Like it's just two like polar opposite groups for our generation. I think
But why? Oh, okay. Do you see any, I guess, characteristics in those people that are like a pattern? Like, do you see like a certain gender or certain race, certain age, or is it just
I
truly
do see
random?
a certain gender, but I'm not going to say it on this show. So I mean, that's you can go ahead and answer that question for yourself. I don't care. I'm not saying it,
What's the
huh?
gender?
I
What's
plead
the
the
gender?
fifth. I plead the fifth.
Dang, that's how
Yeah,
you feel.
I
That's how
plead.
you
Do you
feel.
see a certain gender doing either?
I don't
Oh, you
know. I
don't
don't.
know.
I
You
don't
don't know
see this.
anything.
I don't
You
see
don't
this.
know anything.
Nope.
Okay. All right.
I don't know. That's why I'm
I mean,
asking
that's
you.
fine.
I'm asking you the question
That's
people want to
fine.
know.
I have no problem saying yes. I do see a difference in gender, and I'm going to say no. I don't feel like talking about it. And just even though I'm not saying it, these are patterns. Is all I'm talking about, and this is patterns in the people that I know. I'm not saying that all genders do one or the other, and obviously there are minority gender identities out there that don't get a lot of.
Could it be based on the group you know, though, rather than the gender as a whole?
Like I said, that's just we're talking about people I know, so I can't speak for everybody. I can speak for like what I'd say the mainstream thought is. Oh, that's what I can say. I can say, oh, the mainstream thought, it seems, is that women are more interested in getting married, and men are more interested in stringing it out, playing the field, doing whatever. So that's kind of the mainstream narrative that's out there.
I don't know about that, man. I think it's just the opposite of what you
So
saying.
you think more men want to get married and more women want to string? Okay, wow,
Mm-hmm.
interesting.
That's what I think that's what I'm saying.
Wow, that's an interesting take there, pal.
Cause who pops the question?
Men do.
If these women are, and look at all these marriages are going on.
Yeah, I mean it's spreading.
So
It's
what does
spreading
that
like
mean?
chicken pox. Amongst
Tip,
I see.
Typically the woman not asking the dude to get married, so it seems like the man gotta do that, right?
Yeah,
And I'm seeing an engagement
that's what
every
I'm
other week.
saying.
It seems like.
It's incredible to me how many of our peers are getting married. I'm the you know the I have a different lens in looking at that type of stuff because I just think the human brain is not even fully formed for men until 25, women until 23. If you get married before that, you're a brave individual to me, and I wish you the best. I hope I hope every one of my friends that is getting married is married, has the longest and happiest marriage ever. But I think that is very brave because I just that be scared. The thought by itself is just a little out there to me. But like I said,
so you about to, so you about to be, um, so you 24 right now.
mhm.
Could you see
Oh
yourself?
God,
What would 23-year-old Damani in a marriage look like?
oh thank God,
Would
I
he be
thought you were
ready
gonna
for
go
marriage?
somewhere else. Would he be ready? I mean,
Oh, okay. I got a different question for you. I think I know where
I
you want
don't
to
want
go
to go
with it. When, at what age do you want to be married? If you want to be married.
there. I don't have a set age, as I've said many a time, because just going based off what I've already said, I think that if and when you find said person that you think, I want to be with this person forever, um, One, it's kind of scary because your mind could change. I thought a lot of things at 15 that, when I turned 25 and be like, 10 years ago, I thought this, I don't think this anymore. And also, I think that, like I said, when you set age limitations, then you're impacting your lens in ways that I really don't want to impact my lens. So, in short,
So, what's your thought on marriage? Because it seems like you kind of. What's your thought on marriage, Damani?
it's a
Is it necessary?
is it necessary? Necessary is kind of a different way of this. That's kind of a different descriptor. Um, is it completely? Is it a requirement? I think is a better way to say it. Like, is it a requirement? Is it something that like absolutely has to happen? I don't think so. I don't know. I had a cousin that she been same dude for a long time. They common law married because they've been living together for 10 years in Texas, and it seems like they got a pretty good life. And then if they were to ever, God forbid, but if they were to ever split up, all she got to do is take her stuff and leave the house. She ain't got to go to the courthouse, nothing. She just done.
So that sounds like the move for you.
Mm, I mean, it's tempting. It's a very. Seems like a good. It seems like a good situation in a lot of ways, but I would never outlaw. Like, I would never say, you know, just never say never in terms of marriage because like I said, it's worked out for a bunch of people. Your parents are still married. My parents are married, so I mean, it's not like a.
So, so by the age of 30, I don't need to be worried about going to a Damani Carter wedding. In the next 6 years.
It could happen. I don't know. Who knows, man? I don't know. When your wedding gonna be? Matter of fact, since we talking about weddings, what you think that you gonna be married before 30?
I hope so.
Oh, you hope
Personally,
so. Why do you hope so?
hope so. I don't know, man. I kind of want to have my life together. I think that's part of having my life together, personally.
Nothing about love, wanting to be just. I want to have my life together.
Yeah, you don't marry somebody you don't love
Right.
and all that.
Oh,
I'm saying, but
love
if
and all
I just
that.
feel like I need, yeah, that's clearly a part. You're not gonna marry somebody you don't love
That's not what you said though. You just
unless
said
you
I
out here
want to.
trying to chase a.
You just said I
Unless
want to have my life together.
I want to have my life together, and that's part of having my life together, marriage.
Dog, that's. I think your way of looking at it is worse than mine because if you're just looking at this as like a check mark, it's like buy a house, marry. Like this is not. That's not how it works.
What you mean that ain't how it works?
That's not how it works.
I'm not trying to be like Ted Mosby off of How I Met Your Mother. This man was like 38, still looking.
And what's wrong with that?
Hey man, you've been looking for 38 years.
So
Something
you ain't got no.
wrong.
Okay, so nobody you know was looking for a relationship partner past the age of 38.
I don't know, but I'm saying nobody though was like never been married and just looking, and you keep every single situation
Now
every time you get close
there's
ended up not
somebody
being the
that
one.
that is near over 38 that is currently or was at one point looking for love. And you know that.
No, okay. There's a difference between looking for love and like fervently looking for love, like what he was doing,
Whatever.
bro. This man, like he literally had a 9 or 10 season TV show about him looking for love.
It was a TV show. It was a TV
Spanning
show.
out. I'm just saying, bro. I'm saying I don't want to be Ted Mosby.
All right. Well, we've talked about this more than enough, and I hope everyone has enjoyed hearing me and Byron, two clear experts, talk about when you should date, when you should get married, all this stuff, all of this stuff. I hope we have provided wonderful perspective, but I don't think we have. So
I think
no.
I have. Do what you feel is best. Set you a cutoff date. Don't date to marry, but
Mm,
set a cutoff date.
Can't go with you on that one. Let's go ahead and transition to this Kim and Kanye situation, which I've obviously been very eager to talk about because I put it first twice on accident. So what's going on? Because I don't all the way know, to be honest with you.
I'm gonna give a short
Okay.
synopsis. So they've been going through their divorce or separation, whatever they're doing. They're no
Mm-hmm.
longer living together. Kids are in
Yeah, I
Kim's
know that
hands,
Kim filed for divorce.
and
I know that
so
much. I seen that headline.
yeah, but yeah, Kanye don't want to
Yeah,
sign the
but I'm
papers
saying they're
supposedly.
at least Kim has filed for divorce.
Yeah,
They're currently separated at
correct.
least in terms of living situation. And Kanye got a girlfriend, so I mean they got to be separated.
Yeah, they might be broken up right now. She deleted all the
Can I
pictures of them together, but that's a whole different side
can I
story.
pause you right
Go
there?
ahead.
I don't want you to remember where you at.
Yeah,
How do you think Julia Fox feels about all this? Julia Fox is Kanye's girlfriend. Because I think if like my new significant other was making songs, dissing hit or for me it'd be her. If I I'm trying
hey Damani, she do not care. Her and all her little friends just got bought
she
Birkins
got Birkin
for her
money though.
birthday.
She's an actress.
Hey, bro. She said the only thing she dated is billionaires. You think she worried about all these little side hustles and
But I'm
side things
but
Kanye be saying? She don't care. She in it for the
it
bag.
could be. I think that's the only explanation because I just think if my significant other was talking, about their ex's significant other, like while we're together, like he making songs while she right next to him, like talking about Pete Davidson, and she's just rolling with it. Like it just don't even.
But also, it's a different
Mm,
situation too. Like this, a
he
divorce that
took.
is recent. She knows she like the
I know, but
rebound.
I'm saying even then, you don't just like tell the girl she the rebound. You at least gotta hide it. No, I don't think
Nah, bro.
you can't be that bold with it. Just complete.
Tell me when has Kanye never not been bold? He don't
That's
care.
just because he got a screw loose though. So I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I think Julia Fox is kind of weird for staying. But then again, like you said, if she is just after the bag, then that's. I mean, she got both literally and figuratively. She got the bag. So
Bro, she literally said she has only dated billionaires. If you only date a certain like income level, how are you not after the bag? Because then at that point, you have to find someone else that wasn't a billionaire that was at least somewhat for you that you dated. She said she only done dated a billionaire. Something up with that, in my opinion.
I'm with you there.
And she don't sound like she dating a man. Well, actually, she might be dating a man. But yeah, back to the story. Um, Kim threw Saint Chicago. I don't know, one of the kids. I don't know all their names. Saint Chicago or North, whichever one had a birthday party recently. Kanye wasn't invited. Travis Scott sent the stuff over. Kim got mad. Blah blah blah. Eventually, Kanye has been on Instagram, and this where it's gotten crazy. It seems like every single day, every about 4 to 5 hours, Kanye posts something on Instagram talking about Kim. It started off with his daughter shouldn't be on TikTok or any type of social media. She's not being a good mother, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Attacking her character
Mm-hmm.
is what some people call it. Kim responded once saying that she can't believe that Kanye would do all this to her, dragging her name through the mud, dragging the kid's name through the mud, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Kanye continues to go back and forth with her. She recently got a new phone number because she got tired of Kanye calling her. Some kind of way, Kanye got the new number from somebody that she knew. Don't know how that happened. Kanye accused her of putting a hit out on him.
How much have you been following
Um,
this story,
what else
bro?
has
I didn't know
happened?
you knew all this.
Hey, bro. Hey, bro. This stuff be popping up on the timeline, man.
Kind of makes me wonder
But
what
yeah,
else you looking
there's
at. But all right.
other things along those lines. But yeah,
Nah, I didn't know none of that happened. I knew about the
yeah.
birthday party. He posted the screenshot that made it to Twitter where he was just trying to go off on her. Yeah, and she was just like,
Got the
"Hey,
Yeezys
can we get homeboy some Yeezys? Can we?" He's trying to buy them off the website. Mm-hmm.
off
That was
StockX.
hilarious to me. Like he having a whole meltdown, and you asking
But
about
that,
buying somebody some shoes. But I
what's
know
wrong with
that,
that?
like I said, I thought it was funny that he's up
This ain't
here
the
and
time.
she's, hey, can we buy these off StockX or no? So I thought it was funny.
Yeah. There's a whole much more things going on. Things have been said, but ultimately, Kanye has now put all of their divorce issues in the limelight rather than keep it behind closed doors. I've heard some debates about he tried to keep these things behind closed doors, such as telling Kim that she shouldn't be on, the kids shouldn't be on social media, such as why he wanted to come up with something called Jesus Talk like a year ago, which is like TikTok, but like Jesus friendly. I don't know. And so Kim recently, the child went live on TikTok or Instagram, one of them, and that's what was like the last straw for Kanye. So Kanye has some
I'm
supporters in
sure he
this.
has a bunch of supporters, but this is my question: how much do you think? I personally, I still believe that Kanye is one of the greatest musicians of all time, and I think there really is no debating that because he's an amazing producer, and an amazing rapper. Just like you don't see, multi talented individuals like that almost ever. Um, but
Yeah.
how much is all of this? I'd say that's been happening in terms of him being kind of a big questionable headline guy. How much do you think this is hurting like his legacy, or if at all?
I don't think his legacy can be hurt, bro. Honestly, this man has said whatever he wanted for the last 5 years. He'll disappear after he does some of this wild stuff. So I don't think his name or image or anything like that can be tarnished at this point. I think his worst time at, well, like his worst heading when he was talking about slavery as a choice and all that. But I don't think this stuff right here is truly
No, not
tarnishing
tarnishing it.
his legacy,
Um,
in my opinion, or even hurting his image.
I think it's got to be hurting his image, bro.
Because this
It's
one,
got to be hurting his image.
because I, because behind the scenes, people know he has some sort of mental health issues for one. But it seems like he's doing this out of like caring for his family and the fact that he wants to see his kids and things like that. It's his overarching theme in all the things that he's doing.
How is
He wants to see his
telling people
kids.
that Pete Davidson has,
Yeah,
a certain disease of yeah,
he
of
did
that
say that
nature. Y'all can look it up if you don't know what I'm talking about. How does that tie back to that? I can see how it might have motivated it.
because he
No,
wants his
man,
family
come
back
on,
together.
dog. You know better than that.
I didn't say he was right in any of this, but I'm saying the reason
I
why he's
get
doing
that.
this because he wants his
But,
family together again.
I just think that a lot of the time, like when he got on TV and said, President Bush doesn't care about black people, everybody was riding with him, you know, saying that, and he was putting out great music at that time. I just think at a certain point, the antics, and I'm gonna call them antics just because that's the word I'm gonna use. I'm not saying that this good, bad, or whatever, but I'd say his actions went here, and I think like just in terms of headline stuff, the music went there. And I'm just not even saying that it's bad. I'm just saying that he's doing more stuff, and he's putting out less bangers right now. And he doing the fashion stuff. He got a family
Yeah,
to worry about. There's definitely reasons for it, but it just seems like more and more of these headlines come out, and there are people that are forgetting who Kanye is. That's what I'm saying because like
Oh yeah, this whole entire new generation, they have no idea who he
That's what
is.
I'm
They think he's
saying.
just a
That's kind of
Yeezy
what
guy.
I'm saying.
They
So
don't
like,
the Yeezy guy who so they see him as like the fashion icon who is involved with the Kardashians more than and so when he like did all this music stuff, they were like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know Kanye could do this." Even though this still wasn't near his best piece of work as a musician. So yeah, this new generation don't know.
I'll tell you this, bro. There's something wrong with their family. Like, I don't know what it is. There's something wrong with their family. The Kardashians. Just think about how many black dudes they done chewed up and spit out.
Ben Simmons still standing, and Devin
Ah,
Booker.
but I mean, uh, does Kendall count? I don't know if
Or
Kendall
Kendall
counts.
don't count. Or you think she's why she don't count if Kylie count?
That's true.
Or Kylie don't count.
But I don't think Travis Scott been the same. But I mean, just look. You got to look at the track record. Chris Humphries, Reggie Bush, Ray J.
Tell me, wait, what's wrong with Chris Humphries?
Ah, well, I guess yeah, he
He was just
wasn't.
a mediocre
I guess he was
basketball
kind of
player.
mediocre going there, but he ain't get no better. He ain't get no better afterwards. Lamar Odom. I think Tristan Thompson really the only one that has remained unscathed, but that's because he leave every 2 months. Yeah,
He don't care. Wait, tell me what happened with Reggie Bush? You talking
yeah,
about the
he was
Heisman
talking. He
stuff?
was
Taking the
never
money?
like the man. The man. You know what I'm saying? Reggie Bush was supposed to be like college Reggie Bush in the NFL, and they had something to do with it. You can't tell me different.
How?
I'm telling you, bro, something about that family. You talk about your conspiracy theories, that's mine. There's something about that family that chew them up and spit them out. I don't know.
So what's
I
going
don't
on with
know
the
if it's
family?
bad juju, whatever. I think this what it is. It's that Chris Jenner did something. She made a deal with somebody to get all them TV shows and make sure her kids would be famous and rich for all their lives, even though they don't do much. But the kickback that the witch
And
gave
okay,
her.
now this is the funniest thing
Go
Kanye
ahead.
said. He called her Chris Jong Un. Hey, bro, that was the funniest thing when he said they're talking about she running the show, doing all that. I'm like, all right,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that was a good one, Kanye. I'm looking out on Kanye's
I'm
side. You
hey,
can't
I
tell.
think let the man see his kids do whatever. But I just that's the other thing. That's the other thing. Can they do this in the DMs and stop telling everybody about it?
It's Kanye. Kanye been going on interview tours about his kid.
I know, but as a guy that's I'll always be a Kanye fan from a music standpoint. There's some stuff that he does, obviously, that I don't support. But, just because of how I rock with his music from, I say, my middle school year, even in elementary school, and I didn't know much, just Jesus Walks, all the college dropout stuff, uh, late
Through the
registration,
wire.
graduation. That's just
All
like
fall
that's
down.
my childhood. So I mean, I'm always have like that connection to Kanye through his music. So when he does all this stuff and takes all these loud public L's, it hurts me a little bit because one, I wish he would just sit down somewhere and have somebody just, send a text message or do something that is private, but he always got to put it over the airways.
So you take
I
your L's in
take my
peace
L's
and
so
quiet.
quietly that unless you are very, very close to me, you would never know that I was taking them. I've taken some of the quietest L's. I've taken some big L's, and I've taken them so quietly that people didn't know that they were being taken.
How can people learn from your lessons?
Oh, I definitely want
Or you don't
people to
want
learn
people to
from
learn
it.
from
I
your
don't see
lessons?
why anybody does anything but takes quiet L's. There are people that tweet stuff, and of all the funny tweets that I've tried to make, you have never seen me tweet about an L that I've taken in hopes of going viral. Is this right or wrong?
I don't
I've
know. I'm
never,
gonna have to go back
bro.
and
There's
look.
people tweeting about times that they've been cheated on and all this other stuff, and I'm just like, why would you go on the internet and say that? Yeah, it's got 45,000 likes, but now everybody at your work
You
know
see,
that your wife, had another guy name in the phone as daddy, and then when you brought the phone to her, you was running because you thought her father was calling. Why would you tell people that?
that's the
Why
exact one
would
I was
you
about to.
tell people that? Yes, take
So
that
you're
one to
supposed
the
to die
grave.
with that.
Nobody has to know. No,
You tell your
no.
homeboys about that? So they asked you why y'all broke up. What
Hey
you gonna
man,
tell?
we just had to go our separate ways. And then he can go in the room and cry his eyes out for all I care. But as soon as they ask him, he has to make sure that he keeps that concealed. That's why I don't be liking the tweets. The tweets that I like are the ones that are the people that quote it and say they could not get this answer out of me at Guantanamo Bay.
Hey, bro, I can imagine that dude running down the hall. Your dad? Yeah, bro. That's a wild one. That is
So
100%
if y'all
a
don't learn
wild one.
anything else from this episode, please, please, especially if you have any degree of fame, if anybody knows you, take your L's as quietly as possible. Now, if they out in the open, sometimes you gotta address them. But if you do not have to tell other people about your L, take it as quietly as possible. Tell your therapist. They have confidentiality agreements. They can't tell
No,
nobody.
don't,
If you
no.
need to talk about it, tell a professional. Do not tell, you know, Wendy at the supermarket because then your
Like,
business gonna be out in the
so,
street.
but okay, if you don't care about your business being out there, why can't you let people know?
Sometimes it's not that I care whether or not my business is out there. I just feel like this goes back to the oversharing thing that we were talking about. I just feel like if there is something that it provides no benefit for me to have out there, and really it just tells people, hey, I took a L. I took a big L. Why do I have to divulge that to everybody else? I can just keep that internal, and then I don't have to work.
If you keep so many things, if you keep all these L's internal, eventually
Therapist.
they
That's
all
what I
just gonna
said.
come out at once.
Or if you got somebody that you confide in, that's fine. But if you tell, a room full of people, then it's tough to deal with all those consequences.
So you get beat up at work.
This is
You don't supposed
I'm
to
gonna
tell
take
nobody.
this somewhere. So I get beat up at work, right? I get beat up at work. I go hoop 2 weeks later, and they're like, "Oh man, what happened to your nose?" Man, I got rocked. This dude named Phil. We got into it at work. I didn't know what I was dealing with, man. He hit me 3-4, and next thing I knew, I was waking up. Now, what kind of respect I'm gonna get on the basketball court, dog? What kind of respect I'm gonna get on the basketball court? I can't argue for a foul because everybody knows that 5'8" Phil done whoop me, so they gonna think I can whoop him. So this is kind of what I'm talking about. There are just some unforeseen
Mm.
consequences that you don't have to deal with because you don't have to tell people about these L's that you take. It's just not. I think it's not
So,
something that you have to like try overly hard to avoid, but it's just I don't know why you would just put yourself out there if you don't have to. It just don't make sense to me. Eh,
so that's why people now willing to try people like Nate Robinson.
One.
I know you seen that Trey Rags video a while back saying where he was just acting, trying to supposedly acting like he was trying to get something from McDonald's. He was like, "If I don't get it, well, what? What you
Exactly.
gonna do?"
Exactly.
That's what you run
So I
into.
think you apply that to other situations in
Yeah,
terms of
man.
taking L's, especially if you're somebody that's around younger people that's gonna clown you. There's just certain things that you don't have to divulge to them. And if you do, if it makes you feel better, if it's therapeutic, by all means, go ahead. It's never gonna be me.
Sound like you one of the people that are bully people off of
No,
L though.
not really. I might make a joke or two, but I don't really do the throwing people's actual like LLs in their face. Sometimes we joke about the little ones, but not the big ones.
So somebody take a big L. Somebody make a joke about it. You
It's
gonna
probably
laugh?
gonna be tears coming out my eyes. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
That's messed up.
No,
You just as
it's
bad
gonna
as
be
them.
certain things that don't need to be brought up, and if they brought up, I'm gonna laugh. That's the tough part. So
Yeah,
transitioning
man.
to this last little, I guess, question that you brought up: when to bet on yourself, and I guess when not to. So this is your brainchild. I'm gonna let you run with it.
Yeah. So yeah, I know all on social media you see all these people from talk about Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, who talk, for example, Mark Zuckerberg dropped out of college to bet on himself and his idea, technically someone else's idea. Whole different story. Skip that part. But bet on that idea, and you see where they are now, one of the youngest billionaires in American history. And so I know people talk about all the time. Just bet on yourself and watch what happens. Watch the fruits of your labor. But people don't talk about the people who bet on themselves. Majority of the people who bet on themselves and like work hard and things like that who don't succeed. So I think it needs to be a discussion about when to and when not to bet on yourself and how to bet on yourself, I guess. And so one thing I kind of think of is college. Is college required to be successful? No. I guess this is kind of tangential, but I it gets my theory out there, which is you somewhat need a safety net. So with college, I think college is important for the fact that it's like a safety net for whatever you want to do in life, more or less. I don't think college ultimately makes you successful, or it. I just think that if all else fails, your college degree can typically still get you a job, no matter what. And so I think it just puts you in a better off situation if all things fail and everything is equal. That college degree will bump you up a little bit. Might not be as much as you want, but it will give you something. And so I think that's what I kind of, in my life, that's where I go with betting on yourself. I always want to have like a safety net or something I can fall back on. I don't want to just be the guy at a poker table going all in. That's how I think of it for me personally. I'm reluctant to bet on myself all in all the time, anything like that. Now I think it's too risky. It can be a big reward, but for example, some of these people that have bet on themselves are some of the people that are homeless today. Not any fault of their own, but it's just that's a reality that people don't talk about when betting on oneself and
Well,
whatnot.
um, we kind of, I think there's a lot of value in what you said in terms of a safety net. Um, what that safety net looks like from person to person could be different. But when it goes to betting on oneself, uh, generally when I talk about this, I go back to the late great Kobe Bryant, and he was asked about putting all your eggs in one basket. And what he says is, they tell you not to put all your eggs in one basket, but I can always make more eggs. So, in terms of a safety net, we know that there are people in situations where, if they have another person to provide for, if there's a window of opportunity closing on the safety net that, you have to act on, could be that, you're not going to get a scholarship if you go back to college and, you should finish it out for whatever reason. But in general, I think, if you are committed to the process of doing what you set out to accomplish to do, um, whatever it may be, when you hedge your bet, when you say, I want to do this thing, but I can also do this other thing. Sometimes we focus a little bit too much on that fallback, and it's why we don't succeed in the thing that we want to do more. You feel what I'm saying? So, in terms
Yeah,
of
I feel that.
being all in, and like I said, there's very real situations where you need to have something, whatever it may be, uh to fall back on. You have to analyze and understand your situation enough to know if you do have a safety net, like you said. But I think oftentimes we get too caught up in trying to think about that safety net and the what ifs, and it's just we're really just doing the thing that we want to do on a whim. And I think there's a big difference between saying, I want to do this, but I'm not all the way sure, and being 100% behind it, putting your full effort behind it, putting a lot of hard work into it, and, just being idle, I'd say. There's a big difference between those two. So I think the way to do it, if you
Yeah.
have those ambitions to do something outside your comfort zone or bet on yourself, you have to go, maybe not quote unquote all in, but there's most of your chips, like 95% of your chips have to be in there, and you got to be ready to run with them cards and do what you got to do.
And I do see that with some people. Um, I know a lot of people who say they want to achieve something or they want to do this or want to do that, but ultimately they're not like truly dedicated. Because like when you're betting on yourself, like you have to
Mm-hmm.
like give it your all. Otherwise, because normally it's no one to help you in these situations. It's this is my idea, this is my business, this is my role, or this is my career that I want, and the only way for it to happen is for me to succeed. And then when you not back, not like piggybacking off of someone else and like doing it all on your own, that's a lot of work. I don't think a lot of people are always ready for the issues that come up with something being their own. But with that being said, I know a lot of situations where you can give it your everything. And I kind of want to make it like a sports analogy. You can give it your all and still have a career ending injury, tear your ACL, and then what do you do in those situations? That's why I think it's super duper important to have that fallback. Because in any day you could tear your ACL, in theoretically, not theoretically, but like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
I
figuratively.
think
So yeah.
you just can't, like I said, you just can't focus too much on the what ifs of that ACL tear. Like going back to the Kobe thing, if you put all your eggs in one basket, you can make more eggs. Just the truth of it. What do you mean? What if you're not good
But
enough?
what if you're not good enough? Like you can truly give it,
Then
you
you
can
make more
truly give it
eggs.
your all and just not be good
That's
enough.
another going back to I know this is a
But what do the egg? If you make more eggs, what does that do for you? If you're just
no.
ultimately
I'm talking
not good
about.
enough, good enough at
But if you
this.
put all
I
of
know
your
you're
eggs, if
not
we're
supposed to think
going
that,
with
but
the analogy here, putting all your eggs in one basket means I go all in on this thing. Then I can make more eggs to put in another basket.
mm-hmm.
I'm not saying you go all in on the thing again. If you realize that you're not good enough, because the hypothetical in that is that whatever has happened that has ended your career in one particular basket, so you make more eggs and put them in another one is what I'm saying.
No. But the thing is, if you made all those eggs and you put them in that one basket, you fell with that one basket, so all those eggs are taken away.
No,
Now you're left with nothing. And when you're left with nothing, wait, you're left with nothing. Now some of the eggs that you're making, you now have to eat that to just survive. You don't have those extra eggs to bring you back up
but I
to where you
already
want to
no.
be.
I'm
So then what
saying
do you
the
do in that
safety net
situation?
part is the only part that I'm going with you on, because you have to understand your situation well enough to know if you're in
You know,
maybe not a desperate situation, but if you're in a situation where you have great need, that's maybe not a great time to, branch out and do whatever it is that you're betting on yourself.
but some people have that life no matter what, where they're always in that position of need.
No, that's not
So
what I'm
should they
saying.
just never
I'm
bet on
saying that you
themselves?
have to understand what your safety net has to look like. And so I'm giving you a big hypothetical here. If there was no possible way that you could feed your family other than doing what you're currently doing, and nobody else could feed them, um, then I'd say no, it wouldn't be the time to bet on yourself. At least not for me, because I'm thinking, that tier one need always has to be satisfied. But for most people, there is a way around that. However difficult it may be. Not saying that it's in by any means the same for all people, but I think if you have it to put the work in to bet on yourself, then the all the eggs in one basket thing should never be the justification that stops you, because you can always make more eggs. It's
I don't
just
agree, bro.
put it to you this way, Byron. A man cannot serve two masters. So if you are halfway in, if you just have a foot in the door to what you really want to do, but you are 40% focused on your fallback option, then you could be in a position where you fail but could have succeeded at the thing that you're trying for. Now, personally, I would rather fail at 100 or
Mm-hmm.
95, whatever percentage you want to put. I'd rather fail at my full capacity, know that there's nothing more that I could have done, no more effort that I could have given, and then start on whatever basket is out there next for me. Because if you really want to do it and you've got a plan, a strategy for doing it, and like I said, you put the full weight of your ability, your work ethic, all of that behind it, then that gives you the best chance to succeed. And if you really want to do it, why would you let failure stop you from getting this? The fear of failure stop you from giving yourself the best chance to succeed. So now you
My
got me
situation
bullshit.
different.
You giving like generals and then talking about your situation. How is your situation any different?
I felt in different things. Bet on myself didn't succeed how I want.
How does that
Excuse me.
go ahead?
Succeed
I'm
how
gonna
I
let you
want to
finish.
succeed. So if I've done that over and over and over and see where that gets me,
No,
you
you
stop betting
change
on
the
yourself.
process. That's all.
No,
No, mm-mm.
I disagree. You no you go the safer route, bro. Because put it like this: if I bet on myself that one more time, I might not be able to hit that safety net. Your safety net only works so many times.
No,
It's only gonna work so many times. Eventually, you're gonna slip through that
that
safety net.
not necessarily. That's generally not how a safety net works. First and foremost, because both metaphorically and in real life, that safety net is supposed to be there and be reliable in terms of catching you. So I don't
Okay, so if you
a
jump
thousand
down a
times,
safety net 1,000 times,
a
it's gonna catch you
thousand
1,000
times.
times, or is it always some? That's what I'm
If a
saying.
safe
1,000 times.
if a safety net does not
Eventually,
have
something's
a
gonna slip through that
1,000
safety net.
drop warranty on it, then I probably wouldn't buy that safety net. To be honest with you. So are you talking about the literal or are you talking about the metaphorical right now?
That's what I'm saying.
So
Both. Even a metaphorical one, it's not gonna always be able to save you if you keep hitting it over and over and over. At some point, you got to draw that line. Okay, maybe I'm not the
no,
person that
this
needs to
is
be betting on
see
himself. I need to play the safer route. I'm gonna go
that's
with my little $5 bet, $5
that's a
bet, $5
huge
bet.
losing
I don't need to be
mindset.
doing this
That's a
ten
huge
thousand
losing
dollar bet.
mindset. So when I talk about the ability to make more eggs, right? In a metaphorical sense, what I'm literally saying is that if I am working hard to succeed in one area and I don't succeed, then there is another area where I can work hard and find success. And I'm saying that that's a general truth for just about everybody. But if you are so focused on, what you do not have the capacity to do, and you're not focused on, like I said, your ability, um, and just something else that you could throw the full weight of yourself behind and find success in, then you're settling for mediocrity when there could be something better out there for you. And if you've exhausted all options, I guess, um,
Well, I'm just saying if you keep betting on yourself and you find out, oh, this wasn't the area for me. This wasn't the area for me. This wasn't the area for me. Eventually, you come to like, I don't know what area is
That's
for me, and so
when
I'm gonna
you
go with this area,
refine the
give it my
process,
all, and just see where this
Byron.
takes me.
That's something I've already said. So if you're looking at not if you're giving your full effort and you're not succeeding, then there is something in your process that you can change, something that you might not be seeing in terms of your perspective. Maybe, you know, whatever field that you aspired to is not necessarily the field that's going to be most fulfilling to you. And that's the thing that was holding you back. It's just a lack of fulfillment. And I'm giving that as a possible, but there's just so many explanations. There's so many possibilities, and when you limit yourself by saying, I'm not a person that should bet on myself because I failed at X, Y, or Z, no, that's not how it works.
Well, so, and by succeeding, that's relative. For example, what one person may see as a failure, another person may see as a success. Or I've set this goal for me way up here, and this is where I think I need to be, doing everything to get to right here, but I landed right below that. You see what I'm saying? It's not like a complete failure, but it's just like you didn't achieve what you set out to achieve, and you put all in to get to that one spot to get this one benefit or one outcome or one job or one something, and you're just like, I can't do it no more.
I could
I'm I'm gonna take what I know and keep it
see,
moving.
like I said, it's just I don't think there's necessarily anything